Hi, my name is Emily. Welcome to my gentle yoga class with an emphasis on core work. This is a beginner class, so we'll move at a slow, comfortable pace and we'll be breaking down the poses. As always, if you need to take a moment to pause or skip a movement, honor your body and what you need. So you'll also notice that a lot of times I bring in some core work into a lot of my yoga classes. And part of that reason is that having a strong core is vital for stability and mobility. So by building a strong core will also help to support and stabilize the spine, and that's going to really help with posture. It's also going to help with our balance. And you'll notice that keeping your core strong is going to help with your mobility, whether you're reaching, bending, or twisting. So this one will have a little bit extra core to get that in. This is a beginner class, so you may just be reawakening your core and finding it again. So take it at your pace, let go of judgment, let go of ego, and just have fun with it. We're going to get started in a seated position. You can always place a blanket underneath the hips if you notice any rounding in the lower back. If you want to sit nice and tall, even just doing that is going to help strengthen the core, strengthen the back. Begin by resting the hands on the knees and close your eyes or soften your gaze. And we're just going to take a few moments to settle into your space. And just feel the connection to the ground. Notice what parts of your body are touching. And just finding this place between effort and ease. So we're lengthening in the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling, but we're also softening in the shoulders. Keeping the heart lifted and open. And just shifting away from your day, from whatever is going on. And just coming into the present moment. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And an open mouth exhale. Once again, breath in. Breath out. Last time, inhale. An audible exhale. And then seal the lips, just breathing in and out through the nose. Keeping your breath steady and even throughout practice. Let's start to find some movement just in the shoulders. Small movements to wake the body up. Up and down the back a couple times. And then going from the back to the front. Notice how that feels. And then relax the shoulders down and drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then coming through center and over towards the left. So a couple times just side to side. Keeping the spine long. And just letting go of any tension that you're holding in the head and the neck. One more round. And then just returning to center, blinking the eyes open. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. We're going to bring the fingertips behind the head. So lightly, without any force, Relax the shoulders. And we'll find a seated cat-cow. So on the inhale, you're gonna reach the chest, draw the elbows slightly back. And on your exhale, you're gonna round and the elbows are gonna draw in. So on the inhale, you're opening the heart and the chest, expanding forward. And on the exhale, gently rounding elbows, draw in. Let's do 3 more. Articulating through the spine. Feel that expansion in the chest. Last one. And then come back. And just take a moment, release the hands back down. We'll just take the hands and just some figure 8s. So the fingers are interlaced, warming up the hands and the wrist. And then switching out the direction. And then take the hands, palms face forward, shoulders stay plugged back. Reach the palms forward, heart lifted, stretching in the hands. And then start to reach the arms overhead. It may not go all the way, and that's okay. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then gently open the arms up and release the hands down. Let's take a breath in and breath out. We'll find a seated twist. So taking your left hand to your right knee and then your right fingertips just to the base of the spine. And first find length, grow tall, and then you gently find the twist. And remember, we're not forcing the body, we're softening into it. So really using your breath. Inhales, lengthen. And exhale, softening and twisting. And then gently release, come back through center, pause. Breath in. Breath out. Second side, right hand, left knee. Left fingertips lightly behind you. First lengthen, heart lifts. And then on the exhale, gently twist from the torso. Keep the shoulders soft and away from the ears. Keep both hips heavy on the ground. And then come back to center. And then just close the eyes or soften the gaze. We'll find some torso circles. So on the inhale, reach the chest towards the right knee and then forward through center and then over towards the left. And then gently rounding back, holding onto the knees. So it's similar to a seated cat-cow, but it's a circular motion. It's like you're stirring a pot of soup. Waking the body up. And this next time, just pausing in the center. And we'll switch out the direction, balancing out the body. The circles can be as big or as small as you want. One last one. And then return to center, sit nice and tall. And then blink the eyes open if they were closed. We're going to take the hands behind the head again. So we're keeping the elbows wide. We're not rounding in, closing in on ourselves. We're keeping the heart open. And we're going to start to find a little bit of core work and really focusing on activating the side abdominals, the obliques. So gently just drawing the right elbow down towards the ground and just finding a bend. Keep the heart lifted and come back to center. And then bending over towards the left. Remember, we're not rounding in, so keeping the elbows open and the heart lifted and coming back to center. Just a couple more. Starting to wake the core up. Make sure that both hips stay heavy on the ground, so we're not lifting away. We're really moving from the torso. One more. Last one. Awesome. Release the hands, close the eyes. Let's take a breath in and breath out. Eyes open. Let's make our way into tabletop position, so onto the hands and the knees. You can always take some padding or a blanket for underneath the knees. Spread the fingers wide, bringing your shoulders over your wrist and your hips directly over your knees. And just pause here, feel the belly pull in, finding a flat back. And then start to reach your right toes back. The ball mound of the foot is on the ground. The right hip is even with the left. Start to press forward and back through the foot, finding a stretch in the calf muscle. And then pause and center. You can stay here if your balance feels challenged, or start to float the right leg off the ground. Keep the belly pulled in, energy reaching through the toes for 3, 2, 1. Gently release, lower down. Bring the gaze over the right shoulder towards the right hip, dog wagging its tail. Other side, come through center, gaze over the left towards the left hip. And then return to center. Find that neutral spine, belly pulled in. Left toes reach back this time. Toes stay on the ground, hips stay even. Couple times, press forward and back. Come back into stillness. Layer 1, stay here. Layer 2, start to lift the leg, coming up to hip height. Energy through the toes, leg is strong, belly pulled in for 3, 2, 1. Release it down nice and slow with control. We'll find child's pose, knees out wide, toes touch. Send the hips back towards the heels. It's okay if they don't touch, and walk the hands forward. Melt the forehead towards the ground. Couple rounds of breath here. Child's pose is a resting pose. You can always come back to this. Allowing yourself to return to your breath, to that place where you feel centered, where you feel grounded. Couple more rounds of breath. Take your time, slowly press back to tabletop. We'll find a grounded side plank, and this is going to help build some stability in the obliques. Take your left hand to the center of your mat and start to reach the right leg back. We'll be stacking the right side over the left, And what I like to do for more stability is parallel the left shin to the top of your mat. So my right side is stacked over the left, and I'm activating the obliques, the side abdominals. The right hand can stay at the hip, or maybe you start to reach the right fingertips towards the sky. You can keep the gaze towards the side, or maybe you bring the gaze towards your top hand. And we're just holding here. Find that stability, that trust in yourself. One more breath. And then gently release. Come back through center. Take your time. Feel nice and sturdy. Let's find a cat-cow. Drop your belly and lift your tailbone, lift your chest, bring the gaze up. And then on the exhale, cat, press the earth, round in your spine, gaze towards your belly. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, pull it through your shoulders. And exhale, cat, round in the spine, press the earth away. One last time, move at your pace. Return to center. Second side. Right hand to the center of the mat, fingers spread wide. Reach your left leg back. And then start to stack the left side over the right. Now for more stability, parallel the right shin to the top of the mat. Holding here. We're activating the side abdominals. Open across the chest. Maybe you reach the left fingertips towards the sky. Option to gaze up towards the hand or keep the gaze towards the side wall. Slowly, with control, come back out the way that you came in. We'll find a second child's pose, knees out wide, toes touch. We'll be here just for about 3 rounds of breath. Gently press back up, and taking your time, we're going to find our way into standing. Coming into standing, have your feet about hip width distance and make sure they feel rooted, stable. Arms down by the sides, mountain pose, open across the chest. Lifting up through the front of the thighs, the quadriceps. Shoulders soft, and just close the eyes for a moment or soften the gaze. Let's take a breath in. Breath out, let it go. Seal the lips, open the eyes. We'll move through a variation of our Sun A. Reach the arms overhead. Palms facing in, shoulders relaxed down the back. Pressing the feet into the ground, reaching towards the sky. We'll find a gentle back bend. Goalpost the arms, elbows in line with the shoulders, and you're lifting the chest, reaching up and back so we're not crunching in the lower back. And then come back to center, reach the arms overhead. And then hands into heart center, pause here. Take a breath in. Breath out. Let's move through again. Release the arms down. Inhale, expand, up, grow tall. And then on an exhale, gentle back bend, cactus the arms. Shine the heart forward. Reach the arms back overhead. And then palms touch, draw the energy in, hands come into heart center. Breath in. Breath out. One last time, release the arms down. Inhale, expand, up, grow tall. On your exhale, deepest back bend. Open across the collarbone, reach up and back. Arms reach overhead. And then hands into heart center, draw the energy in. Pause here, breath in. Breath out. Nice. Arms release down by the sides. And widen your stance about 2.5, 3 feet. And then turn the left toes to point towards the front of your mat. We're going to work into triangle pose. And for today, we're going to start with the hands on the hips. What we're going to do is tilt the hips back and start to reach down. Hinging from the hips, open across the chest. So you should keep this left side body long. Maybe release the hand down towards the thigh. Maybe a little bit more towards the shin. But make sure we're not rounding in on ourselves. So activating the obliques, the side abdominal, keeping the heart open. One more breath. And then slowly rise back up. Nice. Turn the left toes to point forward. And we're going to switch it out. So right toes point towards the other side, the back side of your mat. Hands stay at the hips. And then tilt the hips back. Hinging from the hips, keep the side bodies long. Activating this right side oblique. Tailbone lengthens down, belly pulls in. Maybe start to reach the right hand towards the thigh. Remember, it's not about how far down you get. Some of us may be able to go a little further. Open the chest, left shoulder down and back. One more breath. And then slowly return to center. Nice, waking up the obliques, the side abdominals. This time, we're gonna bring heels in and both toes to point out. Take a moment, bend into your knees, make sure they go in line with the toes. So we're just avoiding the knees buckling in. We want the external rotation in the hips. Come into star pose, expand the arms out, reach up, and then sit low into goddess. Hands come into heart center, shoulders stay over your hips. Once again, inhale, reach and expand up. And exhale, sit low. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, reach and expand. Exhale, sit low. Find strength in the legs. One more time. Inhale, reach. Then exhale, sit low. Let's hold here. Shoulders over hips. The weight isn't forward or back for 3. Shoulders soft for 2. And 1. Straighten the legs. Turn the toes in. And this time we're going to bring the hands to the hips. Find a soft bend in the knees. Keep the belly pulled in. We'll lower halfway down or a little bit less than halfway. Hinging from the hips, keeping your back flat. Just lowering down. Maybe you stop here. Once you find that stretch in the back of the legs, maybe you lower halfway down, keep the belly pulled in. 1 more breath. And then slowly rise back up. Take a moment, bring the feet in. Arms down by the sides and just close the eyes. Come back to your center. Let's take a breath in And an audible exhale. Nice. Eyes open. For this next core exercise, option to use your light weights or maybe some water bottles, just something to add. However, feel free to just use the weight of your body. Let's start bringing the feet hip-width distance. Weight slightly in the hands. And then just start to reach the right hand down, the right weight down. And then slowly back to center. So noticing we're not rounding forward. We're keeping the chest open. Go over towards the left, just reaching it down. And you'll notice the right side helps pull you back up. So we're getting into the side abdominal some more. Nice, just a couple more. Keep the belly pulled in and strong. Open across the collarbone. Let's do one more round. Last one. Awesome. Come back to center. We're going to be making our way back down onto the mat. No more weights. Take your time. We'll lower all the way down onto our back now. You're almost there. Lowering all the way down onto your back. Nice and slow. Take your time. All right, now that you're on your back, we're going to butterfly the knees open and the soles of the feet come together. So this is going to find an opening in the hips. If it feels like too much for you today, bring the feet to the outside edges of the mat. Allow the knees just to fall in towards each other. So find what variation feels best for you. Hands on the belly, or place one hand on the heart, other hand on the belly. Just a couple rounds of breath here. On the inhales, feeling the rise of the belly, ribs, chest. On the exhales, feeling the fall of the chest, ribs, belly. So in your mind, on the inhales, belly, ribs, chest. On the exhales, chest, ribs, belly. Helping to calm the mind, relax the nervous system. When you're ready, take your hands, close the knees, and hug the knees in towards the chest. Let's give them a little squeeze, rock it out side to side. We'll come into bridge pose. Feet come to the ground. Hip width distance, so about the distance of your hip bones. And then walk the heels in so they're a little bit closer in towards the body. They're not too far out. So walk the heels in. Arms down by the sides. Strengthening the legs, the core, the glutes. Press into your feet and then lift the hips up towards the sky. Pressing the earth away. Squeeze your butt muscles. Squeeze your thighs. Hold here, make sure that the hips don't sink down, but we're also not arching the back up. So there's a nice slope down from the knees towards the hips. Now slowly with control, one vertebrae at a time, lower down. Upper back, mid-back, lower back, tailbone is last to touch. Pause at the bottom. Let's take a breath here. All right, just a little bit more core. We're almost there, I promise. This is grabbing oranges. So start to reach your left hand towards the right top corner of the ceiling, lifting the shoulders, and then go to the other side. Right hand reaches towards the top left corner. Make sure that you're pulling the belly in towards the spine. So you're finding that core connection. Nice, keep it going, keep reaching, belly pulls in. Now maybe if you want to add on, you start to lift the head, the neck, the shoulder off the ground as you lift up. But if you want to keep the head and neck on the ground, just honor where you're at today. Core is tight, you're strong, we're almost there, just a little bit more. Let's do one last one. And release back down, hug your knees and give them a little squeeze, finding a release. And then bring the feet down to the ground. We'll start to slow our practice back down. So you made it. Supine figure 4, it's a hip opener, right ankle just underneath left thigh, gently pressing the right knee forward. See how it feels. If it's enough sensation, stay there. If you want to add on, draw the left leg up, going through the little hole, and then the hands interlace behind the left thigh. And just take a few rounds of breath here. Keep pressing the right knee forward. If the left leg is lifted, keep gently drawing it closer in. And then gently release. We'll switch it out. Taking your left ankle to right thigh. Gently pressing the left knee forward. Maybe this side is tighter, more open. And just see if you can match it to the other side, but letting go of those expectations of what it should look like or feel like. And just allow yourself to be in the present moment. Finding that steady, even breath in and breath out. And then gently release the feet back to the ground. We'll move into an easy twist. Maybe you take a blanket for in between the knees or underneath them. Now scoot the hips towards the left a little and then drop the knees towards the right. If the knees don't touch the ground, if it's a little uncomfortable, that's when you grab the blanket. And then take the arms either straight out like a T shape or cactus like I'm doing. Keep both shoulders heavy on the ground and just a couple rounds of breath, twisting it out. Take your time, slowly. Come back through center. We'll find our way into the other side. Knees drop towards the left, scoot the hips towards the right. option for a block or blanket in between the knees. And just wringing out the body, rejuvenating the spine, just wringing out anything that's no longer serving you. And then slowly come back to center. Happy baby. Draw the knees outside of the ribs. Take a hold behind the thighs to start out. For a little deeper, take a hold behind the calves. And for the most intensity, outside edges of the feet. But if it feels like you're forcing it, ease back a layer. We want this easy and comfortable, just letting go. Rocking it out side to side. Keeping the low back on the ground so the entire length of the spine is pressing down. And then take your time, draw the knees in, give them one final squeeze, thank them for everything that they do, and then final Shavasana. So find a position that feels comfortable for you. Maybe a blanket underneath the knees rolled up or over the body. Maybe covering the eyes to block out any light. And just get heavy and soften. Relax the belly. Relax the body. Relax the muscles in the face. Any thoughts, ideas, plans simply arise and float by. Sometimes stillness is the most challenging part. But really allowing the benefits of your practice to sink in, taking time to give back to yourself. We'll be here a few moments longer. I'll guide you out when it's time. If you're ready, start to deepen the breath. Then bring small movements into the body. Fingers, toes, wrists and ankles. When you're ready, arms reaching overhead, full body stretch. And taking your time, gently rolling over to one side to gently press up to a comfortable seat. We'll take a closing breath together. Sitting tall wherever you are, maybe notice that bit of warmth in the belly, the length in your spine. Maybe you're sitting a little bit taller than you were before. Bring your palms to touch at heart center. We'll inhale together. And exhale, sigh it out. Bowing your head forward from my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon.